Hey everyone, I haven't seen any videos online about changing PCV valves on GS350 with a 2GR-FSE engine, 3.5 liter V6. This is a 2007 model. This would be equivalent for 2007 to, I believe, 2011 model years. 2GR-FSE, maybe other models. So I've been having some excess oil consumption issues on my 2GR. I've looked into several different things, and one avenue I'm going into is looking to change the PCV valve. So I picked up the PCV valve from Lexus. This is OEM PCV valve right here. Part number 12204-31050. So this part goes right back here. So as you can see, I've already removed the old one. I won't go into too much detail about removing the old one, except that some of the tools you're going to need basically is you're going to need a 19mm wrench. I ended up needing to use a stubby wrench based on the area. And keep in mind that these are put in with a Loctite. And so they're really tough to get out of here. I had to remove this bracket right here with a 10mm socket, and I removed this hose on the intake plenum in order to get a little bit of clearance and move the harness down a bit. It still took a lot of effort with the stubby wrench. I couldn't figure out any other tools to get in there. Maybe somebody recommends, but you can't get a socket on top of it, and you can hardly get a wrench, open-in box wrench around it. Maybe a crow's foot would work better, but I didn't have one of those. So when I pulled off the old PCV valve, looked at some of the numbers on it, and they don't correspond with anything from the one that I picked up from Lexus. This one's got a different series of numbers and a code on it, and it still makes noise, it still rattles. One distinct feature I noticed on it is, I don't know if you can see with that light, but the hole's completely open. There's nothing down there. It appears to have a pretty good amount of oil in it. Can't really get it to focus, but if I compare that to the new one here, so you can see the Lexus part number on it clear there, 31050, and then the number here looks like it says Akron or something, I don't know, but the numbers are different, so it leads me to believe maybe the other PCV valve was incorrect. Also note here, look, you can see on the bottom here, there's something kind of blocking the opening there. I'm not entirely sure how a PCV valve works, but positive crankcase valve, keeps the pressure and relieves the pressure from the cylinders. So this one, it's got quite a little bit of different sound to it. So I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to put it on and see if it helps some of my oil consumption issues. The factory service manual, I read, noted that you needed to put some Loctite on the threads to make sure it seals. You can use Loctite blue. I chose to use Loctite 592 thread sealant, just because when I take it back off, that blue is sometimes just a pain to break, especially in this area with having to use the stubby wrench. So I'm going to use the thread sealant instead. I think that's going to have a better result. Picked it up from any auto parts store. It was about, this little 1/4 ounce tube was about $7 or so. Loctite 592, that's what I'm using. So I'm going to go ahead and install this bad boy up. Put the hose back on. There's the hose right back here. It was also missing a clamp. I'm probably going to put another clamp on it. And then show you the finished product and go from there. Alright, we got the new PCV valve in place. So that's it right there. I added an additional hose clamp. There wasn't a clamp on there originally, and you could just kind of pop the hose up. So just put a small hose clamp on there and snug it down. Nothing too tight, don't want to damage the hose. Just enough so it stays on there and it seals good. You can see a little bit of the pipe sealant around the bottom there, the Loctite 592. If I can get my light properly. You don't need to put a lot on there, just a few drops so that it can seal. Brackets put back on the engine there, harness back in place. The hose on the intake manifold is put back on. So now it's just about starting it up, driving it, and doing another test and seeing how much oil we use in the next 600 miles or so. Thank you everybody for watching, and good luck.